cut it off early.
You did. You caught
Very
me by
abruptly.
surprise. Did you see me dancing? Could you see me dancing in the background?
Whatever was going on over there. You can't see me when that's going, can you?
I can't. It's very sad and disappointing.
I know it is. I'm happy. I don't need you to see me.
So-
I don't need you looking at me while I'm over here staring.
I already see you enough. No more of that.
Oh, man. So we are live now. We're still going through doing our pre-show stuff as we get ready.
Wait a minute. Watch what's going to happen.
What's going to happen?
Oh,
Wait, okay. What is that? That's not coffee in that type of glass.
that's wine. This is wine, my friend.
Isn't that going to have the opposite effect on you?
It shouldn't make me sleepy. I hope not. Maybe it will. I don't know. We'll find out. It's a good
You'll
experiment.
slowly just fade as the episode goes on. We're going to see just like
I hope
drooping
not.
your chair.
You'll be like, we need to re-record. We need to start over and re-record. Okay, I'm getting myself set up over here.
All right, get set up. Welcome. We're getting some people popping in now. How's everybody doing?
When are you going to start?
Allison's
starting?
talking to her husband.
Oh, we've already started.
We've already started, Matt. Matt, we've already started. You're on the
says
show now.
He says you're on the show now.
You're being broadcast live now, Matt. Hope you're happy.
He's working out. Oh my gosh, he's putting his bare chest up to my doors. My doors are glass, and he was just working out upstairs without a shirt on. And I texted him to bring me coffee or wine. And yeah, he just like flashed me and everything. So anyway,
You didn't turn the camera around?
that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work.
If you want the show to take off, that's what you need. Bare chest Matt.
Show Matt. That is not what we need. He would not be happy with that. Oh goodness.
So, how's everyone doing? Feel free to leave a comment as we're going if you have any questions or thoughts, or if you want to see Matt without a shirt on.
Nope.
Leave us a comment.
Maybe I'm sure I've posted Instagram pictures of him without a shirt on before, like when we're swimming or kayaking or doing something adventurous.
That's how you got all those followers. Just saying.
Because of Matt. Thanks, Chris. You sure know how to make a girl feel special.
Oh man. All right.
Goodness.
How's your Monday going so far?
It's going pretty well. I'm tired, but that's okay. My kids were home from school today, unexpectedly. Not unexpectedly. I expected it, but the school district had planned to have school like all this year. And, we got this crazy winter storm. This is just like chatting, right? We're not recording yet.
No.
Oh, do I need to be recording on QuickTime?
Oh yeah. Also, yeah, we should probably be recording so this actually can become a podcast after we're all done. Because I've not
let's
hit
do
record
it.
whatsoever
Okay, so
in any of this.
anyway, Chris, I can't hear you anymore. You did something weird.
I didn't do
But
anything.
I'll go ahead and tell you. You can't hear me either? Are you
I
serious?
can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, so I'll go ahead and tell my story. What was the story about again?
Because you don't want me to interrupt you?
Oh, about my kids. My kids, yes.
So this is what Allison
So
does. She just
basically,
interrupts
which
you.
by the way,
She
we
doesn't
still
want me
can't
to
hear you,
so she can
Chris,
tell the
so
story.
just so you know that. Anyway, basically, our school district had always planned to have school on April 5th. However, we had this like huge snowstorm a couple weeks ago. We were out for a whole 5 days, and just COVID, right? Just crazy times in COVID. So the superintendent, I want to know if you're listening to this live, I want to know your thoughts on this. The superintendent sent out an email like 2 weeks ago and said, so we're going to go ahead and cancel school on April 5th because, we've all worked so hard, so teachers and students are off. As a parent, I was like, well, that's very nice for the teachers. As a teacher, I would have loved it. As a parent, though, I was like, okay, they already missed 5 days from the snowstorm. Like, we already missed 5 days that we don't have to make up because the governor declared it a natural disaster. So we don't have to make up those days. That's how hurricanes work here. Like, you can miss 2 weeks of school, and as long as it's declared a natural disaster, you don't need to make them up. But anyway, we missed 5 days because of the snowstorm. And then I'm like, what about all the parents who have two working parents at home or single moms who go to work and now have to find childcare for today and pay for childcare? So I was upset. Other like people that I know were really excited, but I'm like, yeah, but
it
that's
sounds like
you
you're
have
trying to
one
mess up a good
person
thing.
who stays home and watches kids. Anyway, Chris, what are your thoughts?
So wait, you can't hear me. Okay,
Are
I
your
need
thoughts
someone.
that we
I
can't
need
hear you
someone.
still?
Can you hear me? Can other
Chris,
people
come on.
hear me right now?
Can y'all hear Chris?
If you can hear me, type
Chris,
something
can other
in the
people
comments.
hear you?
I don't know. Let's see. I need someone
Chris,
to tell me
this
if you
isn't
can hear
working.
me.
We're gonna have to hang up. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to Control-Alt-Delete this.
Hold on, wait.
I can hear you. Type
You can hear me?
something. Oh yeah. Type
You can hear
something
me,
in the
right?
chat. Let's see. What's wrong with you, Chris?
Can you hear me? Yeah. Justin says
Okay.
he can hear me. I think it's you, Allison.
Can people hear me?
I can hear you. You can't hear
This is
me.
getting embarrassing, Chris.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone can hear me.
You can hear
Look at
me.
this. Logan,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. What?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we
can
can hear
hear
you.
you.
Can you hear Chris as well?
No, they're talking about
Okay,
me.
ask them. Can
No,
you
they
hear
are talking
Chris?
about-
Can
they're
you hear
talking about
Chris,
me,
or
not
do you only
you.
hear me? Justin says, I can hear you. Well, who is you? I don't know who you is. Is it just
Look,
me?
yes,
Yes,
both
both
of
of
you.
you. Oh, it's something on my end.
Yes.
Oh man, this is
See,
embarrassing. Okay,
Allison, I
is
think
it because
Allison,
of my AirPods?
Allison doesn't understand that when there's
You
a
think it's
technical
because of my
problem, it's usually her, not me. But she wants to
Let's
blame me
see.
anyways. That's just how it goes.
Audio? My speaker says it's my AirPods. Let me try this.
Try in
Okay,
StreamYard.
talk now, Chris.
Yes,
Talk
I'm
now.
talking.
Everything's frozen.
Oh,
Everything's frozen.
so yeah. So
I
we
hear
can clearly
both of
see
you.
it as Allison
Okay,
now.
Logan, our guy is here. Logan, Chris, I don't have any other headphones.
This is what we go through here, people. I want you to see
Hold
this is
on,
what we go
hold
through
on.
every time. All right, are you coming back?
Wait,
What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, can you hear me? So Allison can't hear us. So how's everybody doing? People who are watching this live, I'm gonna talk to you because Allison is clearly having some horrible technical issues on her side. How are you doing this Monday? Do you have technical problems like this? Do you have an older person in your life who you have to help with your technology because they can never get their headphones to work?
I got it.
What? Can you work? Is it working now?
Yes, it's working,
Is
but
it?
you're frozen.
I'm not frozen.
Okay, it sounds funny. Hold on. It sounds like your microphone is wrong.
Oh, now she's blaming me. Now she's blaming
I'm just
me.
saying that check your microphone. Check. You know you have special ears, and you're gonna get upset later if your microphone is wrong.
Okay, here. I'll let everyone who's here. Can you does my microphone sound okay? Can you hear?
Well, they don't have
Can you hear
special
that?
ears, and you're really
Can you-
slow on
you
my
hear this?
end.
Are
I
your
can hear
kids are your kids playing video games right now?
They're sleeping.
Sleeping? What time is it? Why are your kids sleep?
8:39 on a school night.
Is that when kids go to sleep?
Yeah. Okay, I hear you, but you sound bad to me. But that's okay. I can deal with it.
I think it might be you. I'm just gonna blame you. For once, I was all ready to go.
You know what it is,
Wait.
Chris?
What is it?
It's when I record on QuickTime.
Oh, is it throwing it off?
It's when I record on QuickTime.
Okay, close everything else on your computer. Oh,
Chris,
are you on dial-up? Is that what's going on? Can you hear me?
it's when I hit record on QuickTime.
Justin says I can hear and everything sounds good to me. So this is definitely a 100% Allison problem.
Oh my gosh, this is
Do you all see
so
what I have to deal with?
classic.
Do you
This
see?
is
do
so
you see-
classic. Okay, this is so embarrassing. Okay, but Chris, actually, it's not
yeah.
that embarrassing. I don't. Okay, when I hit record on QuickTime, it messes up. So what do you want me to do?
Andrea says we sound good. She said y'all sound good. I love the word y'all. Just so you know.
Can I leave the studio real quick and come back? You can let me back in.
You can go and you want to leave and come back. Okay. Well, she left me now. All right. So this is a normal thing. Normally we've already ironed out all of these issues before we get started, but we were running through figuring out our lineup for the day, and I guess it did not end up going well. Leslie. Okay. Let's see. Justin, it isn't embarrassing, but it is very awkward. This is what I'm gonna happen, especially when it's awkward, when it's live like this. So hopefully Allison will pop back in here very shortly. Leslie, yes, don't record. We're trying to figure out. So what we do normally is we're recording both on our own computer. So when we put it together, it doesn't sound all weird. You know, like if you're on a Zoom call and you're listening to the people who are in the Zoom call with you, they kind of sound a little weird. You get that weird internet distortion. We record each of our own audio locally, and then she'll email it to me or send it in Dropbox. And that way it all sounds nice and crisp and clean. But whoa, she's back. So hopefully we can still do that. If not, her audio is going to sound really bad.
Okay.
Allison?
I can hear you, but I'm going to have to try to hit with QuickTime and see if
Okay.
that works. Let me see.
Let's see how it goes.
File. audio recording, right? Audio recording.
Audio recording.
Let's see.
Can
Chris, it's messing up.
What else is open on? What else is open on your computer right now?
I can't hear you. It's anytime I try to record on QuickTime.
This Allison, I tell you.
When I stop recording on my computer on QuickTime.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you're on dial-up, like you're on AOL, like you're dialing in for the first time.
All I hear is no, that's a car. Alarm? That's a car alarm. How did it go? How did it go when we had dial-up? Okay. Look, Matt's making the noises. Matt's making the noises right now for dial-up internet. You know, there's people watching that are like, "What's dial-up?"
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
Exactly. Like, I wonder how many people remember AOL. I think it feels like a lot of us here are around the same age. Like, I remember getting those AOL discs in the mail, and and it'd have like your 3 hours or 20 hours of AOL service.
You know,
we actually had bootleg AOL growing up. We had CompuServe. It wasn't quite as good. And
AOL was expensive.
It was expensive. I was just talking about the discs you would get in the mail. It used to be floppy disks, and it turned into CD-ROMs. But yeah, we had CompuServe. It had all the same sounds.
Guess what? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You know what the issue is?
It's your AirPods, isn't it?
These. What's up with these? Fancy. What's up with them?
You too good? You too good for wired headphones? Is that what's going on?
Well, I guess not anymore. Good thing I had them. Okay, I'm recording. I'm so sorry about all this. I'm sure we've lost people listening.
Oh, Andrea, she knows about AOL.
I know AOL.
Welcome to CompuServe. Yes, Justin, those free discs. I don't even remember. You know, I saw this article. I think it was earlier, I think a year or two ago, that there's people still paying for AOL. Like, even though they're paying for internet service to the provider, they're still paying for AOL because they never canceled their service from the 1990s.
About those discs that you could get, you could just grab them and go. Yeah. I took all the discs. I would collect AOL discs. I go to Walmart and pick up a handful of them over time. And I outlined the perimeter of my room at the very top where my wall met my ceiling with the not the AOL side, but the shiny side. That was all. It was like a border around my room of all of these CD-ROM discs, and I thought I was so cool.
How did you hold them with a thumbtack?
Just double-sided tape or something, or hot glue. I have no idea.
I really hope you didn't hot glue. CDs to your wall.
I probably did. I mean, I did whatever I wanted inside of that room. I had patterns of pictures and everything. It was a very cool room.
So Leslie feels connected. She knows.
Leslie.
She knows those AOL discs.
I love it.
It's teenage
crown molding. That's awesome. Exactly. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay, are you ready?
One thing I need to ask before we start.
Okay.
Did you have Backstreet Boy posters on your wall or NSYNC posters?
I was a big NSYNC fan. In fact, I should go get this and bring it to our next recording. I was in love with Lance Bass.
Lance Bass? That was not the name I thought you were going to come up with out of the people who had options on there.
I know he thinks he's gay, but it's only because he didn't meet me. That's because Lance Bass is gay. And I had this huge thing I had a collage of a huge white poster board, all with cutout pictures of just Lance Bass, a collage of them. I'm going to bring it. I'm going to bring it one day, and I'm going to age myself, and I'm going to embarrass myself with it.
Yes, you are. And that needs to happen. I need to see this. We all need to see this.
Okay. I need to text my mom and see if she can find it. I'm pretty sure we've kept it because it's just so odd. See, Justin Timberlake had the super tight curly hair, and I just didn't like it. And I know that's really hypocritical of me to say with my curly hair.
He had a perm going on. I don't know what he was doing.
He did. He just needed a really good haircut. That's what he needed. He didn't need it to let it grow that long. But are you ready to start?
I am. I want to say thank you, Leslie. Yes, it was my birthday last week. So yeah, it was a nice break. We're actually going to get into that part of what I'm loving.
Yes.
For this week's episode.
He's loving himself.
Myself. I'm loving myself this week.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it was too easy. Okay. Are you ready to clap?
Okay. Oh yeah. Well, thank you. We need to do that part. All right. This is when we sync our audio up. So I'll do it. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then on clap, we'll clap. Right?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
All right. 1, 2, 3, clap.
Oh, I think we did at the same time.
I think we did. We're synced up. We're sunk up. Synced up.
in synced up.
We're in
In
sync.
sync. Okay, here we go. Are you ready?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, let me bring it up. Let me get it here. Get it ready. We're about to start. We're going to officially start the episode now after 15 minutes of Allison's technical issues.
And
All
Chris,
right.
really quickly before we record, I don't remember where to come in after the music, so I'm gonna need you to do that.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think I'll start it off because Allison admitted that she doesn't really know the timing of her episode. You know, after a year of doing this, she still doesn't remember where the talking actually starts. But it's okay. It's okay.
I'm not the one who edits it.
No. Oh wait, I need to do a quick sound check here. Make sure the sound effects work. Can you hear this?
Yes.
You can hear that? Okay.
Oh yes.
All right, making sure. All right, you ready? You can
Yes.
You can kick us off, Allison.
Okay, here we go. Okay. So our family took a vacation to Big Bend National Park, which is this huge national park in Texas, and it's on the border of Texas and Mexico. And it's like really out there. You don't have any cell service, no connection whatsoever. And we kayaked 2 miles upriver to this really cool canyon where we could have lunch. And no one's around. It's just our family and another family. I went ahead with my youngest son, James, to spot out the canyon and wait for everyone else because he was in my kayak with me. And as I'm walking into the canyon, I'm admiring just how beautiful it really is and how wonderful nature is. And then all of a sudden, I start sinking in quicksand.
Wait, did I lose you?
Are you going to play the music, Chris?
Oh, I lost you. You froze for a second. I'll play it now.
Oh.
Wait, I will at some point. There it goes. Hey, this is Chris.
And this is Allison, and you're listening to This Is Awkward.
So, we had talked about this story before, Allison.
Yeah, it was
And
scary.
I told you that I thought quicksand was fake. I didn't know that it was real, that like that's a real thing that could happen to you. I thought it was only in cartoons or like Indiana Jones where people get stuck in quicksand.
Indiana
Like,
Jones.
This is a real thing?
It really is. And I guess the last time I even thought about quicksand was whenever, I don't know, Bugs Bunny or someone sank in it. I don't know. Funny story. I told this story to my friend Sarah, and she's like, well, didn't you research how to get out of quicksand whenever you were little? And I'm like, no, I didn't. I didn't research how to get out of quicksand.
Your friend had researched this when they were a kid and still retained that information as an adult?
Oh, yeah. She knew exactly the steps. And like, let me tell you, I have researched quicksand now. And she was correct on the steps you do to get out of quicksand. But I didn't know. I knew you didn't move, right? I knew you froze. So here I am. Yeah, here I am with a 6-year-old child who thankfully didn't follow me into the quicksand, right?
Yeah,
and
we really been freaking out.
And we're in this canyon along the Rio Grande River, and you can't see where everyone else is because we walked into a canyon. And so I kept telling him, go back and tell Daddy it's an emergency. Come now. And he was screaming, but because of the way the canyon walls were so high, Matt was like 100 yards away and couldn't hear him. So he would come back to me, and I said, go back again. Tell him, Mommy is sinking. Mommy is sinking. He would go back, and he didn't hear him. He come back to me. He's coming. Little did he know he couldn't hear him. Anyway, Matt finally leisurely, kayaked his way over. And I was probably, it felt very leisure to me. But I was in there for probably about 5 minutes, and he turned the corner, and he was like, she really is sinking, because he had gone back. And when he pulled up his kayak. And so he had to pull me out of quicksand.
Wait, so how deep in were you? Like how far in? Were you like, was it like up to here? Was it like a baby toe? How far into the quicksand were you?
Oh, it was just to my ankles. No, it was not just a baby toe. It was not just to my ankles. I sank all the way down to my knees. So typically that's where I've done a lot of research. That's typically where people will sink to because of something about the density of the quicksand and human bodies. However, I had nothing near me that I could pull on to pull myself out. So imagine you're stepping into a puddle, right?
Okay.
but you step into the middle of the puddle. So I'm stuck in the middle of the quicksand and up to my knees. And I didn't have anything to grab onto to pull myself out. And if I had tried to use my arms to like lean back and pull myself out, my arms would have been in quicksand too, because I was too far into like walked into the quicksand pit, if you will. But it is like a legit thing. They have it all the way from Alaska down to Florida. And it happens when I've done so much research. It happens whenever the water near like a swamp or like a river has recently receded and the top of the earth looks like cracked. It looks just like cracked, like you would be
like it's like dried.
It's dry. It looks
earth.
just like it's dry. It is dry, cracked earth. But underneath that surface, it is just this sinking mud. And I mean, the moment I stepped in, it was like, had this suction. And it was very scary. And it was, I wouldn't say it was awkward. I would say I was terrified. There are like 500 deaths, either in a year from quicksand or of all time. I don't remember, but that sounds like 500 too many.
That's a big difference, like 500 for the history of quicksand deaths, breaker keeping, or if it's just this year. That makes a huge difference.
There are YouTube videos about it being along the Rio Grande, but we had kayaked so far down that, we were just like in danger. It was
okay. Because in the movies, though, if this was a movie, this is where like a vine would like fall from the sky, from the ceiling of the cave, and you would grab it.
Right.
And you would wing your way out of the quicksand.
I could not reach anything. No vines magically appeared. It was very rude of Mexico. And so then my son, James, because we were like, oh, we're on Mexico's side. Like the day before we had gone on another part of the river down Mexico's side. And we were like, oh, haha, you're in Mexico. Like, look, we're able to come without a passport. I mean, but really like you're just on the Rio Grande River. And he's crying because he's seeing mommy have to get pulled out of quicksand. He goes, I don't like Mexico. It's dangerous. And I was like, no, Cancun's beautiful. Like, we'll take you there one day. I promise. Like, not all of Mexico is bad. Just this one little patch and some other patches.
So from now on, he thinks that Mexico is just 100% quicksand. That's what he's going to think.
Probably. And then he went back and told his kindergarten teacher. I'm pretty sure she thinks he's lying.
Because I thought you were lying too. Who would think that you walked into quicksand?
You thought I was lying?
I thought you were exaggerating. I was like, really? Quicksand?
No.
Quicksand doesn't exist. You just stepped in wet sand.
No.
I had no idea it was a real thing.
It exists. It exists. It's crazy. So that's my awkward, uncomfortable, scary, crazy story. But this is what I said on the way home after I was, recovered from the trauma as my, and James was still really upset about it. And I say trauma. I mean, it was okay. Everything ended up okay. There were some tears, but I said, you don't end up stepping in quicksand if you don't take like, what was it? Risks. I didn't say risks. I said
Adventures.
If you don't have a life full of adventures, like, that's how you end up in quicksand.
And the lesson that he took from that and I took from that is don't go on adventures. Stay at home. No quicksand in my house. I can tell you that much.
Whenever I told him, like, oh, but now, mommy leads an adventurous life. She's been skydiving. I've done, mm-hmm. I get to add one more thing to it.
Stepping in quicksand.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sinking in quicksand.
Oh, well, okay. Well, you know what? That sounds pretty awkward.
Yeah,
pretty
but
awkward.
not dying in quicksand. So take that, quicksand.
1 for Allison, 0 for quicksand.
Exactly. Or 1 for Allison, 550 for quicksand.
Oh, now you made it sad.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, you know what?
Anyway.
I thought what you said before was awkward. This is awkward.
Yeah,
and
sorry
this
about
show
that.
we're on right now, it's called This Is Awkward. And what we do here is we talk about your non-quicksand related money awkward situations and hopefully help you get through it without losing your friends and family along the way.
Yes, and if you want to be part of your show, we would love for you to call in and share your awkward money story. You can call us at 707-200-8259. Just leave a voicemail. You don't have to have this long conversation with us. We won't make it awkward, I promise. Or you can send us a DM on Instagram at This Is Awkward Podcast.
Yeah, and I'll do this like I did it to you last time we were recording live. If you want to call, I have my phone sitting right here with my WandaVision background, Allison. If you want to call.
I thought you said One Division. I was like, is this a new band?
No, One the
One. I
Vision.
still need to watch that.
Oh, don't, that's not. You know what? I don't want to get started on the fact that you haven't watched that show. Oh, anyways, Allison, today's episode, we're going to be talking about a caller whose friend is not being very mindful of the fact that they like to spend money and their friend doesn't. We'll just leave it at that before we get into the actual topic.
Yes, and I think this is actually a very relatable topic. Very relatable. And we will get into that right after we take a quick break.
Yeah. After I remember to play the music.
I was like, okay, let's do this.
There it is. There's the music. We'll figure this out one day.
Hopefully soon.
So as is usual, Allison, for our first break, we want to tell people about our Patreon.
Yes, it's so awesome. Did you know we had a Patreon? Whoever's watching live, did you know? Did you know we had one? Because we do, and it is awesome. This is basically where you get bonus episodes and bonus content from us that not everyone gets to hear.
Yeah, exactly. We put out at least 2 extra bonus episodes every month, and we cover things like the very first podcast we ever did. We actually shared it with the main feed this past week, and we went through and we revisited our very first episode and just criticized ourselves constantly about the horrible mistakes we made.
And we also praised and loved on ourselves and noticed how much we've grown.
That's a better spin. I just like laughing at the fact that we chose to talk about books and walking for what we're loving in the very first episode.
Okay, what I'm loving is a book today, so maybe I should change it now.
Yeah, I thought you would learn from that. Oh, but anyways, sorry, as we get back on track here. Yeah, we put out at least 2 bonus episodes every month covering past episodes. We do follow-ups on previous callers and their awkward money situations. And we let you reach out to us through Discord or directly on Patreon to let us know what you want to hear from us in future episodes or where you'd like us to go with the show.
Absolutely. And what's so great is that there is a plan for every budget. Tiers start at just $5. There's monthly memberships, and it just helps us keep this podcast running successfully.
Yeah, exactly. So if you would like to support what we're doing here, you can go to patreon.com/thisisawkwardpodcast. All right. Well, Allison, do you want to take the reins here and get us into the our call for the day? I guess not a call. I call everything calls, but
yeah,
it's our listener awkward story.
Okay, yes, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. Here's what it says. She wrote in and said, "Hi, Chris and Allison. My friend likes to go out and spend money. For example, she wanted me to go to a museum with her, but it would have cost $40, and then we would have to pay for dinner after. Immediately, I was like, no. Not only does she make more money than me, but she also doesn't seem to notice that I can't afford what she can. How do I handle this situation when it comes up again? Because it seems to happen often."
Oh, I think we've all been in this situation. I personally have. I've hung out with people who I know made much more than I did. And so for them to go out and do something that was like, it's no big deal. Let's go get some food. Let's go to this place. I'm like, do you know how much this place costs? Have you looked at the menu?
Yeah.
Because I have, and I don't like where this is going.
They're like, "Hey, do you want to go out and buy some diamond earrings, diamond rings?" And you're like, "Do you know how much diamonds cost? Do you? I've bought one in my life." Wait, did you buy Vina a diamond? You bought her something special.
She wanted a pearl ring, but there are some little baby diamonds around it.
Okay, well, that's fair. I think I've definitely been in this situation as well. I honestly don't I can't fully remember. I can't like specifically think of one situation, but I know this is something that people encounter. I know it. I know that you, likely, if you are listening to this right now, I'm guessing there has been a time whenever you've gone out to dinner and, it's really expensive. And instead of you paying for what you want to pay for, right, they say, "Oh, let's just split it equally. Let's just divide it by 4. And you're like, I ordered that side salad and water for dinner, right? It's like,
oh, I hate that so much.
Yeah, they're just unaware. Sometimes I think that our friends, they're just not aware. People naturally are very, I don't want to use the word self-absorbed, but people are naturally, that's not, but it's human nature to think about yourself, right?
Yeah, you're living in your own kind of world, like your own
Yeah.
bubble of reality.
Exactly. And sometimes, especially when it comes to money, it's hard to almost remove yourself from your own bubble, your own reality, and to actually think, wait a minute, how is this going to affect my friend who is a teacher and I am a lawyer? I don't know. Those were just super like cliche job titles I just gave out. But, I think that sometimes that's hard.
Yeah, it is. I think. I mean, not to get too serious on this podcast, but I think it kind of shows kind of like the economic inequality issues we have in our country. It's like because once you get used to a certain standard of living, it just becomes normal. Like that's your baseline now. Like I go out and eat $40 lunches. That becomes your baseline now. I don't, but I'm sure somebody does. And that becomes normal. So now for you, the thought of going to this place, I'm sure with this friend, it's like, oh, this is what I do all the time. It's just $40. Like, what's the big deal? But for someone whose lunches cost $8, like I don't want to bump that up, $32. So I think you just kind of lose your frame of reference changes compared to
Yes.
other people.
I think that's a really good point. Actually, I was talking with my business coach. I have a business coach. I have a meeting with
Oh,
her.
speaking of $40 lunches.
Okay.
No, I'm joking.
Whoa.
I'm joking.
Whoa, Chris, we're supposed to be friends here. I have a business coach who helps me run my business and, scale it and all X, Y, and Z, whatever. It's not that exciting. But she was talking to me about comparing ourselves to others and how we feel this norm. And when we're sitting in this norm and this life is our norm, anytime we see something that is more expensive or someone who's making more money than us, we're like, I can't even believe it. I can't believe that they would make this much money or, buy this or something like that. But then if we move up in scale and we end up making that money, that becomes our norm, and we automatically look above us as well and says, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, I can't believe it. So I think that it's definitely human nature to sit in your norm, but it's almost like reverse, because now it's looking at others, whether they are horizontal to you, below you, everything. I don't want to say below you, but I'm talking like making money, earning potential, all of those things. If you don't talk about money often and you're not in those conversations, you might not even be aware that something's different between you and your friend.
Yeah, exactly. And I think so in the message we received, we didn't get a lot of other details. I mean, that happens often where we kind of have to infer what else we think is going on in situations. But I don't know if the person who sent in the message, if they have approached the friend about this and made a comment. Because I think when you're the person who's, not wanting to spend more money, I think there's another layer of complexity on this, because then you don't want to look cheap or broke by telling the person that you can't afford these things, or you can't spend as much money.
Right. Or have like that pity, right? Like you don't want to have that pity or think like, oh, poor you, because you might not even be unhappy with the way your financial situation is. It's just that your friend makes more money than you. So let's approach this, Chris. I think it'd be interesting for us to approach it in two different ways. The first way, as your friend is aware, right? That you make less money, that you're on this budget, those types of things. And then let's approach it in the situation where they have no earthly clue. And how do you have that first conversation, that initial conversation, right? That's typically the harder one. Let's talk about that.
Ooh, okay. All right. So we're going to go with the first example that they're aware, right? Is that
they're
the one
aware.
we're going to go with? Okay.
Yeah,
so in this situation, the friend knows that they've already had the conversation. They know that you don't necessarily want to spend this much money, but yet they still recommend doing it anyways.
Yeah.
How do you approach this? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's pretend that.
All right. Do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
No, you go. You're on a roll.
Oh, am I? Okay. I'm going to disappoint you now. So if I'm in this situation, I think at that point, you need to be proactive. And I think I might have heard this from you. I may just be repeating your own
if it's good advice, you did hear it from me.
If this sounds great, then yes, this came from Allison. So I would then take the lead and make the recommendations in. So I would say, this is what I think we should go here for lunch, or I think we should do this weekend. Because I think one of the first examples, or one of the examples the writer gave, was about going to a museum that was expensive.
Yeah,
I would maybe take the lead on planning events and say, hey, for this weekend, let's go to this museum that I found that's going to be free. and then let's go to this like nice sandwich place that's around the corner that I know it's gonna be like $10 at most.
Right. Instead
And I
of the
think you can,
Met, let's hit up the Children's Museum.
yeah, yeah. Give reasonable options so that way they can't hop in and you have to be the one that's like I can't afford this, and it removes that little bit of awkwardness for you of having to be the one that says I can't afford this. No, you don't like that one?
I think that's a great idea. I think that's just skirting around it. I think I mean if I'm being honest, I feel like that's just being like, okay, I feel like this is going to happen, so let me try to like be on the what would that be? Be on the defense? No, be on the offense. I don't know.
But remember, this is a situation where they know. She knows already. The friend knows.
So then why not just be like, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun, the museum. Here's what I would do. I would say, oh my gosh, that sounds like so much fun, the museum. Right now, I don't have it in my budget. I didn't plan for that. If I have enough advance, I can do it maybe my next pay period. But until then, oh, my Southern accent came out.
Until then.
Until then, what if we did something that was a little more, like less expensive? Because if you've had the conversation, then the whole point is that you don't have to skirt around it anymore, Chris. You don't have to be on the defensive and be like, oh my gosh, they're about to say, let's take the private jet and all I can afford is Southwest. What am I going to do? No, you just say, look, all I can fly is Southwest. I cannot take the private jet with you.
Well, I'm easing them into the conversation.
I guess I don't have issues easing into conversations.
No, apparently you don't. Well, Leslie in the chat said, let's just go on Free Tuesdays.
Free Tuesday. There we go. Every museum has some sort of free day. It's usually like, some sort of like senior citizen hours or something. I mean,
that's perfect for you.
Look, I like to go to bed early, Chris. Don't you stop calling me like I'm 80 something years old. Anyway.
Okay. Sorry. Let's do the other scenario now. So this is the one where the friend is not aware. So
the initial conversation, yes, the initial yes. And this could happen even in a relationship, right? A romantic relationship, a friendship. It could even happen between like parents and children, siblings. This applies everywhere. This is just gold right here. Really, you can. So the whole idea is what? They don't know that you are on a budget, that you make less money, and that this is difficult for you. Yeah, expensive for you. Expensive for you to pay for, and that you don't want to do it. Okay.
All right, you go first. Since you shot me down, I want you to go first, and I'm going to shoot you down. And then come up with a better recommendation.
I didn't shoot you down. I just said Okay. Anyway, so, oh gosh, off the top of my head, I would say something like, gosh, that sounds really fun. I love the idea of going to these types of places. However, I have set some very exciting financial goals for myself. Whether it is to pay off debt, save money, invest, whatever, take back control of insert financial goal here, right? I have set some of these big financial goals for myself. And because I don't make as much as other people do, or no, scratch that. You can say something like, because, my income, because of where my income currently stands, because of how much money I'm currently making, I'm going to have to pass on some of those more expensive things for now so that I can ultimately reach my financial goals.
That was a fine answer. That was a fine answer.
You got better?
But what I would say, no, I'm joking. Okay. That was a good answer. I think because you're framing it as, I'm not doing this because I'm cheap. I'm doing this because I have bigger goals. And this is going to derail me from those goals.
And so maybe your goal is to freaking, pay all your bills on time that month. Maybe your goal is to, get caught up on any payments you're behind, or to pay off your credit card, your balance in full, and so you don't necessarily, if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to go into what those financial goals are. But I think it's important that we have conversations about setting financial goals and the beauty and the beauty that it is. I mean, maybe I think it's beautiful to set financial goals. That's kind of weird. I'll go ahead and throw that out there.
You're a special person for sure.
I am. I think it's wonderful and beautiful and amazing. But I think that it also opens up conversations for maybe that person to say, oh, I also have some financial goals. Like, what is it that you're working towards? Let's be accountability partners. Like, how can I help you and you can help me, kind of thing.
Okay. you have a lot of hope for this friend that they're gonna be very understanding. I can see.
You think they wouldn't be?
No, I don't know. I'm just
I'm like, my friends would be.
I'm a little more pessimistic. I think I've had some experiences where I had to just be blunt and just say I don't want to do it or this is too expensive. Because okay, I've been in a situation where I was with some friends who made more than me. Oh, what are you gonna say? I want to hear it.
You were also hiding your financial goals. No. You didn't want anyone to know that you were in debt. You didn't want to tell anyone that you had gotten yourself into this debt, and it was a secret.
No, this was different.
A secret.
These people knew. So these people knew that I was paying off debt. That I was like, okay, I need to get out of this debt. And one of the guys in particular, I knew he made like significantly more than I made. Probably, maybe 40,000 more at least than I was making. It's pretty significant. So. Yeah. I remember they wanted to go eat like this expensive restaurant. It was like, I think it was like a steakhouse or something. I don't really remember.
You were like, it was Chili's. It was and I was like, I don't know if they've got the baby back ribs on special tonight or not. Okay, sorry.
Oh, okay. Well,
sorry.
So it wasn't Chili's. It was some steakhouse. And I remember being like, you know what? This is my goal, I'm trying to pay off debt right now. I don't really want to do this. And they're like, oh no, don't worry. We can go. It's like, we'll pay for it. And I was like, well, I don't want you to pay for it.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable with you paying for my meal. I'd rather we just go somewhere that we can all afford. And it really was like a back and forth where they were like, no, let's do it. And I had to like repeatedly kind of just stand my ground and say, because I know it's going to keep coming up. Like, this is not going to be the only time we're going to go out to eat. And it's like, am I going to have them pay for my expensive dinner every time we go somewhere?
Yeah, I mean, or you just miss out on those expensive dinners, like
or you just say I'm not gonna go. And I didn't want to do that, so it was kind of like just being. I had to be, which I'm not, but I had to be very blunt and say, you know what, this is too expensive for me. I can't, and I don't want to spend this much money right now. Let's find a more reasonable option. And so after a bunch of back and forth, that's what we started doing. They knew if I was going to go with them to not recommend this expensive place again. Let's find something that's a little more reasonable. They would even say, like, it got to a point where they would say, hey, you want to come out with us after work? And don't worry, we checked, and this place is not expensive.
I love it. There have been times when family has wanted us to go on trips and things like that. We were like, no, we're not, we can't. Like, we cannot. We're not going to sacrifice we're not going to sacrifice what we are working toward for this. Especially if it wasn't something that like we had originally been like, yes, let's do it. If it was something we had planned, it was the four of us, our family has planned, that's different. But if it's like tagging along on something that someone else originally wanted to do, I don't know. But okay, so you might have to be blunt. So I guess either situation, whether it is the first time you've had this conversation or it is just a continual reminder of the situation. Number one, be willing to be honest, but then also be willing to maybe stand your ground because you don't want, kind of like what Chris said, because he doesn't want to later, you don't want to later resent that friend or have any of these feelings of, resentment come up or anything like that if you decide to go ahead and cave and let them pay for you. And then you're thinking, oh, I owe them, right? Like you always feel like you owe them. Yeah. So,
I think those are two options, two ways to handle it. And you kind of judge based off of your friendship and this particular person, which way you think is gonna end up working out better for you.
Awesome.
All right, so we are gonna, I guess it's time for another break here, Allison. We'll take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're gonna hop into, I guess, it's really your favorite segment. This is your thing. This is what you come here for. It's for what I'm loving. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Today's episode of This is Awkward is brought to you by my free resource library. This is where I have lots of printables for you to get started and get yourself organized when it comes to your finances and your money. And you can get access to all of them whenever you sign up for my free budget course. To get access to that, you're going to go to inspirebudget.com/free-course or just click the link in the show notes.
So I think I'm just extending the break out a little bit here. We're just going to shake it out before we get into the next segment here. I wanted to catch up on a couple comments we got in here.
I've been playing with a clothespin.
Where'd that clothespin come from?
It was sitting on my desk.
Oh, looking in here. Okay, so Leslie, she said that Oh, she said, yes, I've done that. On your comment where you said, just say you have certain goals.
Good, Leslie.
As a way of letting people know, hey, I'm working towards something right here.
Perfect. That's perfect.
She also said, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, this is awesome. Leslie and I have the same mind. I must really like her. I bet I'd like her. Leslie, let's be friends.
I actually met Leslie in San Diego.
What?
When I went to it was the, what's the documentary called? Is it Playing? I think it's called Playing with Fire. Hopefully I got that right. I met her and her husband there. It was the premiere out here on the West Coast that Choose FI was putting on. So it was great to meet her. So it was good to see her here in the chat.
Nice.
She also said, have you researched a town for birthday specials before you go? Like, do you research the restaurants before you go, Allison? Are you one of those people who like brings up a menu and you're like, all right, what's on this menu before I walk in here?
No, she said researched a town for birthday specials.
But she said like restaurants.
Okay. No, I don't usually do that. I don't ever. Well, no, I'll research sometimes, like if we're really trying to stay on budget in terms of our restaurants. Unfortunately, we are creatures of habit, probably because we have kids. We want to go somewhere where we know they'll like, and we don't want to go to anywhere expensive with them. So we usually tend to go to the same places. I'm
trying to think. We kind of do. So my wife is vegan. So that already kind of makes us have to look. So we went on a trip. I'll talk about it. We went to Joshua Tree, and you're in the middle of the desert. So it was kind of like, what options are there for someone who's vegan? Because, being like right outside of LA, we got, nothing but options over here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we do kind of look at things before we go. So.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah. I'm sorry, I got distracted. Let's see. Oh, Michelle said, I've been watching through IG and it wouldn't let me comment. Oh, you followed the link through there. Probably open it up in a small window.
Oh, I bet so.
Well, thanks for coming over and joining us, Michelle.
Yes, welcome, Michelle.
Michelle was the one who joined us for the, you weren't there, Allison. Sorry, I was like, that wasn't you. I did an Instagram live with Stephanie and Sidenese and Connie.
Okay.
About an episode of Money Confidential. So Michelle joined us on there. We actually brought her on. Oh, no. She came on when we tested it. It was me and you.
I'm pretty sure that was me.
There we go.
I was like, no, because you would have only had, Okay, no. I know, Michelle. Golly, Chris, rude.
Well, whatever. Well, thanks, Michelle. Thank you for coming here and being so positive. I'm stuck with Allison, being mean to me all the time. Last one here. Wesley said, how do you tell your friends that you lost all your money betting on the Sacramento Kings? So, again, Wesley is a hater. He knows I'm a Sacramento Kings fan, so he's just coming in to spread more hate, which I don't need that here, Wesley.
Wesley, if it's going to entail making fun of Chris, then what I have to say is do more of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you all for sticking with us and leaving your comments in here. We're just getting ready to start back up. You want to hop back into it, Allison?
Yes, let's do it. I'm excited.
So, Allison.
Yes, Chris. What's up?
What time is it?
It is time for What I'm Loving. You can do the sound effects?
Oh, yeah. Wait.
Nope.
Can you hear this too? Their horn is way too low.
your sound effect game is lame, but that's okay. What I'm loving isn't. This is when Chris and I share something that is bringing us joy, something that has sparked life back into us this year, this month, this week. It doesn't even matter. And we want to share it with you in hopes that you can either find joy yourself through that same thing or find joy through us enjoying it. I don't know.
I saw you really searching for it there.
I know. It was like, wait, what am I going to say?
Oh, well, I'm excited for this week's segment. So why don't you go first, Allison? Because I know what you want to talk about is going to be very, very boring. So I just let you get it out of the way first.
Okay. Well, I know what Chris is going to talk about, and it should be safe for last. So what I'm loving right now is a book. It is a book. So if you've been, I know, be quiet.
Hold on. Here we go. Wait, wrong one.
Wait, what are you doing? There we go.
That's for your book.
Thank you. It is a book. If you've been listening to the podcast, then you know that maybe a couple episodes ago, I was loving Audible. I still have my Audible subscription. I am reading one more book a month than I was before in 2020, which means I'm reading one book a month, which means before I was reading 0 books a month. So I'm really, really loving it. And one of the books that I listened to / read was Believe It by Jamie Kern Lima. Sorry about that. Anyway, so I love this book. She is the founder of It Cosmetics. Do you know what It Cosmetics is?
I have never heard of that.
Okay. So it is a makeup line, and I have used it before. And basically, she built this makeup line from her living room and grew it so huge it became like one of the top selling makeup industries or makeup lines in America, and it was purchased by L'Oreal Cosmetics.
Ah, okay. Wow. Oh, so Allison's having horrible struggles with allergies this week, so I get your pain. I get it.
Yes, you had to fill in for me just a little bit. But anyway, it's so good because it's all about like how she was constantly being told no, like over and over and over again. She was being told no by the people who eventually told her yes, but how she just continued to like hone in on this focus and this purpose, and how she knew deep in her gut that this is what she was supposed to do when like the entire world was like, no, this is not what you're supposed to do. It was just so incredible. It was very interesting. Oprah's in it. Oprah makes an appearance inside of the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it her voice too?
No, like
No.
she has a chapter about Oprah and about meeting Oprah and all these things. But it is just very uplifting, and she wraps it all up with basically tying back to you, the reader, and why you have to believe in yourself and how to believe in yourself. And so it's very much filled with just all of these stories. I think, a lot of people probably in the past looked at her and thought, oh, she just like rose to success, and maybe she was handed all of these things or whatever, but they don't see the struggles and the what went into it to get her to where she was. But it was just very incredible to go back, and then it was also the message was very inspiring.
Oh, okay. So how much money did she make? I need to know.
Oh, I don't remember. It was like $4 billion or something is what they or something. I don't remember.
$4 billion?
I want to say, I could be totally wrong. I don't remember the actual numbers because that wasn't important to me, Chris. What was important to me was hearing how she was continuously told no on this journey, but how she held like close to this purpose. And I mean, also like hearing that it wasn't glamorous, that she would, that her marriage suffered, that her, just all of these things suffered in her life. Her relationship suffered, and here is where she is. But then she's also very honest in saying, okay, now that we've sold it, now we have to repair and spend time working on these relationships because they were abandoned for so long. And I love the truth in that, right? The truth in that, like emotionally, maybe things weren't well, and not making it out to be like, oh, it was just this like super easy, amazing thing. And I don't know. So
yeah, I think sometimes you see these stories of like people getting like extremely wealthy, like $4 billion wealthy. And I guess it just seems like it just happened. So it is interesting hearing these stories. Like I like the podcast, How I Built This.
Yes.
And like hearing these stories of like these companies that you recognize these brands, but then you're hearing like all the craziness and the struggles that went to them getting to that point.
Yeah, like years and years. Like she was working on this for like 10 years or something. So it was really good. I highly recommend it. I really liked listening to it because it was her reading it. I love audiobooks whenever it's the author reading it. So anyway, yeah, check it out.
No, I like that. It's a little more personal when you hear the author in there.
It is.
Oh wait, I think you know about Libby, but Leslie said, do you know about does your library have Libby?
Yes.
The Libby app?
So we do have the Libby app. We do. My issue is that what I want is usually like new releases, and there's like 100 people on wait list. So I decided, this year, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write this as a line item in my budget. And then on Audible, they have a whole bunch of other free books that you can listen to that are just come with your subscription. So sometimes I'll listen to those if I finish the book early, like hers, I finished it really early. And then I go back and I listen to old books again. But those are more like usually self-development books that, not like fictional stories.
Yeah, you're not going back and listening to Harry Potter over and over on a loop.
No, not that. So,
okay. I recently got a book from Audible when my wife gave it to me for my birthday. This is like probably one of the most inspirational stories I've ever heard.
What is it?
So the main character's name is Anakin, and he had been struggling because he was trying to balance between his career and his family life, and it was his career was supposed to be something that he devoted his life to, and so he committed himself, excuse me, to the Jedi Order, and by the same time, the dark side was calling him because for the power to save his wife. And so, it was it's one of the most inspirational stories I've heard in a long time. I just listened to it.
I didn't even get it when you said Anakin. I was like, that's an interesting name. It must be from the 1800s, or maybe it's set in the future. Oh my God.
Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. It was a great audiobook.
Okay, moving on. What are you loving?
Ed, yes, Anakin.
Okay, what are you loving, Chris?
Oh, okay. Michelle knew. All right. In all seriousness, okay. What I'm loving this week, is Joshua Tree Tiny House.
Is that the name of it? Like if you Google it, it'll come up.
No, I couldn't think of what to type there, so I put Joshua Tree Tiny House. I was like, that pretty much sums up all the details of what's going on.
Okay.
It was my birthday last week, and I have this mild obsession with tiny homes. I don't know why. I think it's just the fact that people are choosing a more minimalistic lifestyle, and these homes are normally designed really well. Like, they're very intentionally designed because they're going to be small. They're normally under 400 square feet. So they're doing cool, interesting things with these spaces. So whenever I have a chance to go try to find one to stay in, I'll do it. So this is the third tiny house I've ever stayed in. We stayed in one in Arizona, in Phoenix. And we stayed in one in, what's the city? It's in Wyoming. No, I did almost in Florida too. I was going to, but then I didn't. I ended up not, because someone told me that's they were like, that tiny house is by the railroad tracks in a sketchy area. You probably don't want to stay there. Someone from Florida told me that. So I was like, okay, I don't feel like getting stabbed. So I chose not to stay at that one. The other one was in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, was the other one that we stayed in. But this one's in Joshua.
That one.
That one was beautiful.
I remember you sending me videos of that one.
Yeah, that one I think was about 400 square feet, so it's a little bit bigger than this one. But that one was like, I was like, this is almost the size of our first apartment, the one in Jackson Hole. But this one was in in Joshua Tree, California, which is in the desert. It's closer to Palm Springs, which I think is a more, I don't know if Joshua Tree or Palm Springs is a more like recognizable city name. If you're a non-California person, which one would you recognize?
Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is just north of Palm Springs. Okay. It's on the other side of the national forest, which is the Joshua Tree National Forest. And so we found this tiny home there's an account on Instagram called Tiny House Movement is their name.
Ooh, I'm gonna need to follow them.
Brian Hawkins runs the account. I actually had him on the podcast for a couple of episodes.
Oh, cool.
And so he posted about this. I was like, oh, this is close enough. It's about 2.5 hours out from LA where we live. So we drove out there, and this tiny house was beautiful. It's a 2-story home. So the bottom floor is the kitchen, a bathroom, like a little living space, and a little small table. And then upstairs, there's just a bedroom, and then a little balcony you can go out on. And it was so well designed. Like it had this, I couldn't figure out why there was like this rabbit theme in the entire, like there's like little rabbit pictures on the wall or like statues. Like, what's going on? So the street it's on is, I think it's Conejo, which I believe is rabbit in Spanish.
Oh, cool.
So that's why they chose that theme for the inside.
Could you see yourself like permanently living in this specific tiny house? Like the layout and the storage? I mean, I don't know where you'd record podcasts from in a 1-bedroom.
In a 1-bedroom tiny house. This one, like a lot of the tiny homes we've been in, it's been like an open floor plan, or like the bedroom's like on the loft. Yeah. So when you're in that situation, like there's no blocking sound. Like it's going to travel through the whole home. I could see myself doing this was 300 square feet, the home we were in. Yeah. I could see myself staying in a 600 square foot home. Like
that's
if I could
tiny anymore.
I mean, that's pretty tiny though. Still 600 square feet.
That's the size of Matt and I's first apartment. We lived there just fine.
Yeah, that's true. The first apartment my wife and I lived in, it was 400 square feet, like just over 400 square feet.
Oh wow.
But the thing with tiny homes, like they're designed so well that you get like a very unique custom look to them, even though they're that small footprint. It's like small apartments. Like we were literally like in a studio. It's just a big open floor plan.
Yeah.
And like there was nothing interesting about our first
Yeah.
first home we stayed in.
Right.
But it's interesting. Oh, let's see. Ed said NPR had a segment today about people moving to the desert because houses there cost around $50,000.
Wow.
Yeah, the homes out there were extremely cheap compared to how they are out here. Like we saw a sign, like for us in California, this seems like a big deal, but there was like, home starting in the low 200,000s, and that was like, what? You can get a whole house for $200,000?
That is, that's like common in Texas.
Yeah, you live in a different world. We're in California. It's a whole other mess of crazy house prices out here.
Yeah. Well, where I am in Texas,
the tiny home
outside of Houston. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What are you doing?
Oh no, go ahead. I think there must be a delay. I think that's why we're interrupting.
Oh, there was a delay. No, the area I live in outside of Houston. What? Why are you laughing? Is there a delay again?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, basically, all I'm saying is the houses start at $200,000. Okay. End of story. End of comment.
Yeah, we have this weird, it sounds like a 10-second delay almost, like for at least 5 seconds. I can hear you over there listening to me talking to you.
Oh, oops. Sorry. Let me turn down my headphones. Well, I'm glad that you got another tiny house fixed. I can
show this.
You can show it?
Well, thank you. I think I can show this to everyone here. Let's see. If it's so late in Texas now, shouldn't you be sleeping, Allison? I don't know where that comment came from, but I loved it.
Who's that
Let's
from?
See, here we go.
Is that from Wesley?
That's from Leslie. No,
Leslie.
From Leslie. Okay, I don't think I can show this. All right, I don't know.
It's okay.
I don't know why it's not.
You posted about it on Instagram, didn't you?
Oh wow.
Didn't you post about it on Instagram?
Yeah, you can go check it out on Instagram. You can see it there. Yeah, so people can go check out the file or go check out some of the photos there of the home. It was a beautiful space.
Oh, you only posted one picture. You need to go back and post multiple pictures.
Yeah, I need to go back in there because I have a ton of them that we had took while we were there.
Yes, and because I like tiny houses too.
We have this horrible long delay. We'll probably need to wrap up.
Okay, let's go ahead and wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So, go for it. I'll let you finish it up, Allison.
Okay. I'm just going to go ahead and do the listener shout out real quick. So this listener shout out comes from Karina RR, who said, and this was a listener shout. This is from a podcast review on Apple Podcasts. And she said, Allison and Chris found in a niche in the saturated personal finance space with this podcast. Found a niche in the saturated personal finance space with this podcast. So she said it's unique and fun. So thank you, Karina, for that awesome 5-star review.
Yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it. Are we back in sync now, Allison? Can you hear me as I'm talking? I don't think
I have no idea. I don't think so.
She has no idea what I'm saying. All right. So what I will say is that thank you all for joining us here live. And also for those of you who are listening to the podcast later on. Allison is listening to the podcast a few minutes after I'm recording what I'm saying right now anyways. But if you would like to send us your awkward money story, you can give us a call. Oh, can you hear me? Are we back in sync now?
Oh, no, we're definitely not back in sync.
Can't hear me. It's already...
You're going to need to be editing this a lot.
If you want to give us a call, you can call us at 707. It's going to be so bad. You can give us a call at 707-200-8259. You can leave us a voicemail and let us know. Don't worry, we will not answer this number if you call. But yeah, we will keep everyone anonymous. Don't feel like you're going to be, your whole business will be spread over the internet. We will remove your name and any identifiable information. And we'll go through and discuss it and give you some advice and some takes on how we would handle the situation if we were in it. Allison, want me to wait 20 seconds and let you finish wrapping up the show?
Sure. Thanks for having us. Talk to you later. Sorry for all the technical difficulties.
Oh, man.
Okay, Chris, I think that's it. This turned out to be a little bit of a mess.
That was the end of the official podcast. That was a rough one. As you can see, Allison and I we're in not only two different physical time zones, but 2 different internet time zones. Apparently.
Are the people hearing it off track?
I think what it is, they're hearing you because you're taking a long time to answer or respond to whatever it
No,
is I'm
I'm
saying.
not. I'm answering right away.
Oh, well, I think this worked out. Well, at least we made it almost through the entire episode before we had
That's true.
technical issues. That's
That's
pretty good for
true.
us.
Okay. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, thanks Leslie for joining us for the first time. Let's see, Michelle, appreciate you coming in here and joining us again. Thanks, Ed. Let's see, and his his love of living in the desert and the cheap homes. Let's see who else is in here. Wesley for his oh, he said we need an Audible link. That's what you need, an Audible affiliate link, Allison.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Andrea. Let's see who else we have in here. Is anyone else want to say thanks to before we get out of here? I think that's everyone. I see. Wait, I don't want to forget anybody. I'm scrolling back up to the top. I think that is everyone who's still here. Justin, I don't know if you're still here. I think it's Juliet is was in here with us. So yeah, Logan, appreciate you all joining us, and we will come back. Oh, we're gonna be back on. We're just saying. I think 2 weeks from now is when we'll be back on again, live. We'll figure out our technical issues by then. So for us, that will be on. Let's see,
The 19th.
here, April 19th.
April
So
19th.
April
It
19th,
is.
we'll be back here live again, same time, 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks again for joining us. Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right.
Chris.